So, I think I got this set up all right. Messing with my lights here. I've never done the live stream before, so just kind of figuring it out and introduce myself or just talk with community members and see what they're up to, find out some interests and things that people have. Anybody out there? Just not if I can hear you. Yeah, so I want to go over some of my equipment and see what you guys have see if you have any ideas for upgrading my equipment. Super light, huh? Mm-hmm. Just want to talk about Hawaii. No, I've lived here for about 13 years. Moved here in 2008. I started out as a volunteer at a place called Kalani Honua, which is a yoga retreat center, and worked in the agriculture landscaping department. Ended up living there for 10 years. It was the best way to get introduced to the island, whether I liked it here or not. It was a great community, had a lot of friends, and it was a great way to get my feet wet and begin my journey here on the island. Yeah, I hope some more people jump on here. I just want to chat and see who's out there and see what's on people's minds and talk about where I live here in Hawaii. Thanks, BM. Aloha, brada. What's up, Mark the Shark? Yeah, this is my first live stream. Haven't really had the time or wanted to do it, so I did tonight and see where it goes from here. Kind of rainy. It's always beautiful here, but it's rainy for sure. It's been raining all day. They call for some thunderstorms tonight, and we'll see if that happens. We don't get thunder and lightning here on the island very often, so it's pretty fun when it does happen because it just echoes around the whole island and is just magnified. It feels like every time there's thunder and lightning. But the wind's blowing, it's raining out. That's probably why I'm on the live stream, just because I can't be outside enjoying the nature. Yeah, smash that thumbs up for Hawaii. Love it. Do you live in Hawaii, Mark? Just trying to get the hang of this, read messages and see what's happening. Oh, it's probably dry and getting hot there in Arizona, huh? Changing from summer or from winter to summer. I used to rep a t-shirt line down in Havasu. I loved it down there, being on the water, and about the only way to survive is to be in the water. What did you mention about Mackenzie Park? That it's haunted? So do you do Airbnb, Mark, on those two properties or rent them out or what? Hi, Just Christine. Oh, thanks for watching my videos and your support. They're fun to make, and I didn't want to go work 9 to 5 and do that whole gig. So I'm trying to do my own thing and see if we can make this happen. Oh, so Mark, you just got property in the jungle. I see. I do some property management. I live in a house that I take care of here, makes living here much cheaper. Very blessed to be here and have the opportunity to work off my rent and do things like that. I built a shack when I first lived here down at Kalani Honua. I was what would I say? I was a volunteer there for 3 months, and I loved it here, so I just stayed and I built a shack in the jungle. Had a great community, and it was a great way to get my feet wet and learn about the island and see if Pele accepted me. It's been challenging at times, but most of all, it's been just fun. And I've met a lot of great people. Too bad it's closed now, that yoga retreat center. Woo, 45 degrees. I know how that is. I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah, so we have some long winters there too. Best skiing on earth, though. Grew up in the mountains, always wanted to live by the ocean. So it's been great to be in the middle of the Pacific. I never thought I'd be out here. I thought I'd be more like in San Diego or somewhere like that. Oh, Two Pineapples channel, huh? I'll have to check that one out. Have to make a note of that. Does that keep you busy, Mark? Yeah, I've been real lucky to be here. I agree. Oh, I'll have to check that out. So I can see your land on the Two Pineapples channel, huh? Oh, you breed Labradors. I think the Labrador retrievers are the most loving, kind dogs that you can have. I had friends that had them growing up all the time. We'd go to Lake Powell and they'd just swim all day. Well, this is pretty cool. Do a live link. No one's here, so it's just me, and it's nice to be able to talk to some people. Oh, just Christine, huh? Hi. Yeah, I'm quite lucky. I've been accepted by Pele, and it's been a fun journey for me. I've been here about 13 years. But 10 years was at the Yoga Retreat Center, and it was an adventure for sure. Had about 50 volunteers, which I was a volunteer when I began. And by the time I was finished there, which is 10 years later, there's over probably 110, 115 volunteers. So it really changed. The dynamic changed for sure. When I first got there, it was 50 volunteers. We did everything together, traveled the island, did adventures. We worked together, had dinner together. It was pretty neat. Got really close to those people. But 10 years later, having it be twice as many volunteers, it was the dynamic changed to where it was more like high school, not the people in age, but more like cliques. There's different groups of people, and it was hard to get to know everybody like in the beginning. And I didn't get my first smartphone until, what was it, 2017, because we were down in the jungle and had no connections, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. So we had to make our own fun. Kind of remind me of back in the day growing up, when if your friend was at home, you had to go over there, knock on his door, see if he wanted to play. I don't know what a super chat is. This is my first time on here. So, what is a super chat? Did you say where you're from, Just Christine? Was it Michigan? Let's see here. Massachusetts. Well, I'm glad to see somebody's listening to me ramble on here. Yeah, I saw that. I scrolled back and saw that you're from Massachusetts. Huh. I'm monetized, but I don't know what the super chat is, so I guess I'll have to look it up and learn a little bit about that. Oh, so I might as well keep telling my story a little bit. I was at the Yoga Retreat Center for 10 years. I arrived on the island in 2008. I was 39 years old. And 10 years later, I was, 38, 39 years old. No, yeah. It's amazing how time flies. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah, the eruption of 2018. That's when everything changed for me, and I left the Yoga Retreat Center. Pele had to take a breath, and she just nailed Leilani Estates and just covered the whole place with lava. It was amazing. It was intense for sure. At night, there was a red glow over where the lava was coming out of the fissures, and it was awe-inspiring to see just this red glow every night, all night long. But the yoga retreat center was downwind from all those fissures. So it closed down, people left, and it's never recovered since then, which is sad because I love that land. I put so much time and energy into taking care of the land and planting and growing food and learning so much, permaculture and aquaculture and growing fish and food. Um, I learned a lot. There was a lot of great people there with so much knowledge. So it just so happened that about 2 months before the lava happened, before the eruption, I was offered this house here to take care of and live here uh, for a friend of mine who is, at the time, she was 96 years old and just couldn't get around very much. So she was going to an assisted living on the Kona side of the island and needed someone to live in the house so people didn't bust into it or didn't get squatters. And I decided to do that. So I moved from Kalani 2 months before the eruption closed down the yoga retreat center. So I had the universe looking out for me on that one. Definitely, the island's always changing. Whole new coastline after the eruption. New black sand beaches. I've gone down and done some videos down there by the lighthouse. But we lost a lot of beauty, and so many people lost their homes. It was so sad. And to go out there and know that all those homes and properties are under 30 feet of lava, it was pretty destructive, that's for sure. Yeah, new people always coming and going, Mark. So where was I on my story? I moved here in this house 2 months before the eruption of 2018. So I it's about 5 miles just north of the fissures. So I was upwind of all the bad gas and things that come out of the fissures, and never had a problem. Didn't have to wear any gas masks or smell all that the fumes and things. But I could look out from my lanai and just see that red glow every night. Aloha kako. Idaho. I was just south of Idaho in Salt Lake City growing up. Let's see, where was I on my story? I start reading these things and forget where I was. Oh, so I was 5 miles north of the fissures in 2018, moved here. The yoga retreat center that I had lived at for 10 years was closed. Yeah, I was just talking about the eruption. When I first got here in 2008, down at Kalapana, there was the big plume where the lava went into the ocean, and it lasted for like a couple years till at least 2010 before we had a one big flow, and then it changed and went dormant for a while. It moved up and down the coastline, as I remember, a couple times. But that was pretty fantastic to hike out to the lava and see the lava flowing into the ocean and the plume coming up. It was a dramatic landscape. It was a treacherous walk sometimes, though. Sorry, just pausing here on my story as I read some of the comments. Yeah, so I had to find new work and everything in 2018 after I moved here just before the lava. Um, had a girlfriend at the time and had to evacuate her from Seaview Estates down there. So she come and stayed for uh, about a year until things didn't work out. We both went our separate ways, but that's so is life. But I had to find new work, figure out how I was going to make a living here. I didn't know if I should move back to Salt Lake to be closer to the family and go back to that life or stay here. I know I really wanted to stay here on the island though. Turning down the lights a little bit. I'm so flushed out, but this ain't a great camera on the laptop. That's a long time being with your gal. You're lucky. I've never had a lot of luck. Just I guess I haven't met the right girl, but still not really searching. But I don't keep my eyes closed either. Oh yeah, definitely follow my heart. Oh, I'm glad it looks good on your end because on my screen I'm all flushed out. Everything's just white, and I'm white, and well, I'm white, but you know what I mean. Let's see, where was I? Oh, I had to find work. So I just started mowing lawns, taking care of people's yards, doing things like that. And then a grant at Hawaiian Sanctuary. They received a grant and we're hiring about 10, 15 people to do farm work with the cacao trees and do chocolate. I had a bunch of experience with heavy equipment, doing backhoes and working with tractors, um, you know, zero turn mowers, just things like that, because I was the manager for the last 6 years at Kalani Honua. Took care of 120 acres down there for 6 years. I was the manager of that department, had about 10 people under me. I know I'm all over the place, but as I read and then try to talk and remember what I was talking about, I'll get better at this. I appreciate it, Tupahu. I do try to love and care as much as I can. I try to give an uplifting and positive vibe to my channel and send out a good message uh, through my videos. And it's fun to see people who don't travel here or who have never traveled here or not in the good mental or physical state to be able to travel. Hopefully I've created a way for them to come to Hawaii virtually through my videos and experience it and see the beauty and just enjoy the beauty of the islands. Appreciate that, Mark. I'm really happy to see you online here while I'm doing this live stream and taken part. Oh, just Christine, I appreciate that. You know, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just hit live and figured I'd try this out and see what happened and talk story. The Hawaiians love to talk story, so I've learned that from them, and it's fun to share with each other and learn from each other. And uh, I don't get enough of that. You know, I was around so many people at Kalani, you know, having 50 volunteers up to 100 by the time I left. So I was always people around all the time. So I always would retreat to my little hut in the jungle that I built. And you can see that video of my hut that I built on one of my videos. It turned out magnificent. I did a great landscape, planted some big Samoan palms with the hugest palm leaves you've ever seen. And I haven't been down there for a few years, but I hear they are huge now. I would love to see them because they were pretty magnificent when I put them in the ground. Hey, Paul Holmes. Good to see you, brother. I appreciate the compliment. I'm glad you like the videos. I keep pushing along. I'm trying to be consistent and get a video out every week and share the beauty of the island. I appreciate the push on the thumbs up there, Mark. Working to be my first moderator. Appreciate that, brother. I don't know how all that works, but I'll figure it out. Let's see, where was I? I was talking about, oh man, everything from the eruption to living at the hut. I was there at the hut. Oh, talking about the landscaping and everything. Oh, work. I had to figure out work after I moved out of there when the eruption happened. And Hawaiian Sanctuary got a grant to hire 10, 15 people. And I was trying to get a hold of the gal who was in charge of that, and I couldn't get a hold of her. So I called a friend of mine that I lived at Kalani with, and she got a hold of the person in charge of the grant and gave her my email. So I got an email from her, and I immediately emailed her back and said, hey, I'm interested in working and working on the farm, getting to know how to work with cacao and chocolate and just see how Hawaiian Sanctuary works. So I got over there and filled out my application, had an interview right there, and was hired. Started work the next few days later. The next week, I started work. And it was an interesting place. They have birds just roaming around. They have beautiful peacocks and nice kitchen. They fed us lunch every day. It was a real bailout and way for me to survive in this transition from living at the Kalani Honua, the yoga retreat center, and moving here. It was a real help with that transition and was able to help me pay my bills and enjoy a new life. It's been quite different living here, much more lonely at times, not all the time. I'm good at being alone, but sometimes I'll go a week without seeing anybody as far as friends and stuff, because so many people left the island when the eruption happened. Oh, what does a moderator do? Just click the three buttons. Can you tell me what the moderator does? I'll set you up as a moderator. What is that? Just engage in people or tell people to come and join the live chat or what? Kills bots. Oh, I see. Moderated people are rude. I'll try it out. Mark the Shark, if you're still here, I'd put you on as a moderator. We'll see what happens. Everybody's been pretty kind so far, so haven't really had to keep the riffraff out. Keeps the aloha. I like that. So working at Hawaiian Sanctuary, he had a tractor, a backhoe, a dump truck. I started doing all that, and they were throwing a big shindig just about a month after I started, and I was running that dump truck back and forth, getting gravel. We had to create all this parking for all the people who were going to come. And boy, that's when I realized I didn't want to be a trucker. I didn't want to do dump truck driving or drive big rigs like that long time. Your butt starts hurting and it's just not fun. Grr. Paul's being mean. He's got a grr going. Yeah, so anybody else drive truck out there? That's you got to be a special breed to be doing that. But that grant I was talking about working at Hawaiian Sanctuary lasted for about a year and a half. So after that year and a half, I don't know. I hope you come check out the Big Island if it's been a long time since you've been here. Even though you're an unannounced fart. That's pretty funny, dude. Yeah, so I worked at the Hawaiian Sanctuary for about a year and a half, and at that point, I was in the same boat again. You know, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive? How am I going to make some money? I know I didn't want to go do a 9 to 5 and do that I've done before in Salt Lake growing up and for 30 years, you know, doing 9 to 5, got a boss, taking care of a company, doing all the work. They make all the money. And I was like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And that was about, end of 2019, 2021. Let's see, that was July of 2020. 21, 22. Yeah, because this July will be 2 years I've had my channel. I didn't know anything about making videos or YouTube. I've had a camera, but I know I've enjoyed doing videos and taking pictures and documenting things like that, which I'd done my whole time since I moved to the island. I enjoyed sharing all my pictures and just everything like that. So I had an inkling I could do a YouTube channel and make videos, but I had no idea how to edit, narration, music, just the whole kit and caboodle. I had no idea how to do any of it. So I went to YouTube University. I learned everything I know from watching other people's videos on how to do it and the equipment needed to do it. I had to get a laptop to make my, you know, so I could do editing and got me a GoPro back then, just a little one. And worked out pretty good. I'd go back and watch some of my first videos, and they were pretty raw and they were intimate, though. You know what I mean? They were just like right from the heart. I wasn't really knowing what I was doing, so I was just throwing it out there and stepping out because I didn't want to do a 9 to 5. I wanted to try to get monetized and enjoy my time here on the island, and make money by traveling and going camping and playing in the waves and snorkeling and doing all the fun things that I love to do here, paddleboarding, stand-up paddleboard, and all that stuff. I appreciate it, Mark. I put a lot of work into it. I still do. I just treat it as my job. So instead of waking up and going to some 9 to 5, I get on the computer and research and try to come up with ideas on what people enjoy watching. Yeah, keep it sweet and simple. I've never really been a big talker, so I'm really stepping out of my comfort zone just sitting here talking live with you guys. So it's been hard to be like the main focus of my videos, to just watch me and me talking and doing all that. It's been more of a nature style type of videos that I create with good music, sounds of nature. I really love the sound of the ocean and birds and just natural sounds. I've done, I guess I've done, I don't know, a dozen or so videos that I've narrated. They've turned out pretty well. It seems like people like them. A lot of research, a lot of work, and editing takes about a week to do one video. That's probably the biggest thing about getting into narration and telling stories and doing all that. It takes so much time to create a video. Soon I'll be chatting with hundreds of people all the time. I don't know about that. I'm kind of an introvert. I like being home, but maybe this will kick me out of my shell and start a new chapter for me and create a whole bunch of new friends that I've never met. But that's okay too. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed the I Did It videos. Yeah, they were fun to make. It took me back to in the beginning and everything that I went through. So those I Did It videos were so fun to create. Brought back so many memories and so many people that I've met, because people were coming and going from that yoga retreat center. You know, most of them were 3 months and gone, 3 months and gone. So there are hundreds of people that I met from all over the world. And that's one thing I still want to do, is travel around the world, because I have friends that live all around the world. I could just couch hop and go visit all these different friends and see the world that way, and not have to buy hotels or stay with spend a lot of money on hotels and things like that. Buy the airfare, feed myself, and go enjoy other people's homes. Oh, catch the wave. Thanks, Anna. I do a lot of research on finding good music and good vibe and good messages. Uh, so it was fun to create that intro. I've wanted to create another intro, but I haven't found the right music or anything, so I've kept it pretty much the same for the last while. I'll check that out, Mark. Yeah, I can talk about my experience with Hawaiian Sanctuary. It was totally different. It's another small community, but they only have like 10 people at the most doing volunteer work. And I came from Kalani, which was a volunteer program. And it was 50 people when I got there in 2008 and 110 or so people when I left 10 years later. But Hawaiian Sanctuary was, just a little bit of Kalani, but totally its own vibe, different people running it. So it was interesting to see a whole different community after living at the one I was for 10 years. They had a lot of birds. They had programs. They have yoga in the morning, like 2 or 3 times a week. A nice gym we'll go work out in. They take volunteers to work on the land with them. But the biggest thing I took from Hawaiian Sanctuary was learning about the cacao trees and learning about chocolate and seeing how they grow the trees and they pick the fruit and they make the chocolate. It was real interesting. I didn't do a lot of that because I did a lot of the heavy equipment, the tractor and the dump truck. Spent most of my time doing all that and open up space and just killing cane grass left and right. There's so much cane grass, elephant grass around. So we created a lot of new planting beds and things like that. I'd go in there and level it out and clear it out so we could get more cacao trees planted, things like that. I appreciate that, Anna. I come from humble beginnings, and to hear you say my videos are professionally made, just shows me that I've learned a lot and I've practiced everything I've learned, and I think every time I do a video, hopefully I'm getting a little better at this and that. But I appreciate that comment. Hey, Paul. Yeah, chocolate's so good, and to get it right from the tree and fresh like that was an amazing thing to learn. Oh yeah, cacao is bitter, but the fleshy fruit isn't bitter when you first pick it. You don't bite into the actual cacao nut when you eat the fruit. You just eat the soft inner parts, and it's really good. Where's the goats? I see more goats on the other side of the island. I'm on the east side of the island, Hilo side. Haven't seen a lot of goats over here. I always see them going over to Kona and Waikoloa and places like that, them hanging out on the lava. So Anna asked if you have to pay extra to participate in yoga at Hawaiian Sanctuary. I think they do. Whatever you can afford to pay, they appreciate the donation. They work by donation. I think the teachers that teach yoga there. So everybody who comes throws in $5 or something, and so it's pretty cheap to do the yoga practice. You do work like 30 hours a week for room and board. But that's a great way to go because working 30 hours a week, myself, I put in 30 hours a week at Kalani, the other retreat center, and I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off every week. So I was camping all the time. At one point I had went camping 6 weekends in a row, a month and a half straight. Every weekend I was camping. I'm becoming an expert at it. I don't claim to be an expert because I'm always learning. You can hear the Koki frogs, huh? That was one of the most amazing sounds to come into when I first moved here was all the coqui frogs. It was like this place just come alive at night. It was amazing. And it was just this vibe. It was like a heartbeat all night long. I remember when I first moved here. Those coqui frogs took a bit to get used to, though. They're loud. Big Island has a good vibe. You know, it's more country style. It's more laid back. It's more, I guess, because of the land and it's so much bigger, you know, you have a little more freedom to fill your soul and fill yourself. Whereas on the other islands and it's more compact and smaller islands, I don't think you can get the same vibe on the other islands. But I definitely have a great vibe on the other islands too, Maui especially. I have a lot of when I first came to Hawaii, I was 13 years old and traveled to Oahu and Maui with my family. And amazing enough, at 13 years old, my dad, my brother, and I all got certified scuba diving. I was barely big enough to hold the tank on my back and to go to Oahu on Christmas Day and 2 weeks later be a certified scuba diver was amazing. As a little kid, it opened my eyes up to all this new things, new dimension of life, pretty much. Oh yeah, raise goats and rent them out to eat grass. That's a way to do it. I'm on the east side of the island, Tupahu, east side of the Big Island. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been an adventure. I'm so happy I had the opportunity to learn about the Big Island and have Pele accept me and welcome me to the island. Never had a lot of problems, but I'm a good people person. I get along with people. I'm positive. I help people out. I play hard. I love hard. I work hard, and that all is a positive in my book and in a lot of people's book. Yeah. Hey, Mark, just turn on the audio and let the coqui frogs go, huh? People would just sit and listen to coqui frogs. I don't know. Just read your message, Anna, about the workshops and things. They have a few workshops every week, um, different types. I don't know what they're doing now because it's been a couple years since I worked there, or a year and a half. Yeah, about a year and a half since I worked there. It's probably about the same. Yeah, I'd get some big equipment depending on what your lot's like, Mark. Clear that puppy out. Leave the ohias, leave the good stuff, and just get rid of all the other and just plant it and make it beautiful and colorful. That's a lot of smoke detectors, all them coqui frogs. Quite different than a smoke detector, though. Coqui frogs are more like a No, that's how they are. Thousands of them all together. It's like an orchestra of cokies. Scottish is my ancestral heritage. Scotland, you've missed your God-given right. Registered tartan. I don't know what tartan is. Mark, are you going to clear that land yourself or hire someone to do it? Yeah, lumber and prices of things are going way high. I got gas. It was either yesterday or the day before, and it was over $5 a gallon. You know, that's just ridiculous. That just keeps me from driving anywhere. That's why I'm here on the live stream. Can't go anywhere. Be on a lockdown just because of gas prices again. Start walking wherever we go. I guess bikes. We could ride bikes, walk and hike. Oh yeah, tartan is the pattern skirt. The kilt, huh? I see. Yeah, I bet you're ready to hire that dozer, Mark. Makes it quick and simple. It's expensive, but you'll have it done in a day. Wow, I've been on this thing for an hour. 57 minutes I've been doing this live stream. Started with nobody, wondering if someone would join in. You guys have been great. I've really enjoyed reminiscing about what I've been through and kind of my journey a little bit. I'll have to do this more often, get the word out. Maybe more people will enjoy listening to me ramble. Hey, Gene, yeah, the Kokistra. Kokistra. Oh, you're just joking. You led me down the road to Pahu. So all of you live on the mainland? How about tell me what state you live in? All of you. Question, have they ever just stopped? Are you talking about the Kokis? Because I noticed the Kokis do just stop when it gets cold. So in the winter, there were times when there would be no Koki sounds, but it would have to be pretty cold, like in the 60s, 50s, high 50s. It's about as cold as it gets here. Hi, Anna. You know, I work with a realtor, Pineapple Homes, and I do all of her photography and take care of a couple of her properties. And HPP was awesome down there. Hawaiian Acres is awesome. Orchid Land, I like Orchid Land also. Do I have a preference? Probably HPP area. That'd probably be my preference. Oh, Mark using dynamite. I see. Illinois for now, huh? Thinking of getting out of there? Michigan. I have a good friend lives in Michigan that I met at Kalani. She came and visited me actually a few months back. It was good to see her. She goes up to Alaska every summer, works up there, and then goes back to Michigan. I would say, Anna, in HPP or those areas, you'd be pretty good with internet access. It's when you get down into past Pahoa and down into Puna that you just have no connections down there. Nice, Anna. Well, I hope to meet you if you make it to the Big Island. Just Christine, that's awesome. I appreciate you throwing a shout out. I would love to get more viewers doing live streams and just having people get to know me a little bit, talking story. It's a little different, just me talking, but at least you guys can type in and respond and ask questions. That kind of keeps me going, keeps me talking, gives me ideas. Most of all, it lets me reminisce about my life on the Big Rock. Oh, that Nanavali deal was a bad one, huh, Mark? That's no fun. All that does is causes stress trying to get out of that crap. 3 acre lot for 30 grand. That's pretty good. If any of you are looking for some help in finding stuff like that, need a realtor, go to Pineapple Homes. That's who I work with. Yeah, a lot of Michiganders and Oregonians in Hawaii. Yeah, definitely. I think so. A lot of Alaskans. There's a real connection between Alaska and Hawaii. It's pretty cool. Oh, you're in Boise, Gene? That's cool. That's good. Yeah. Put that in your bucket list to make it happen, Gene. Get back to the island if you love it, because there's no better place to be, especially if you're in tune with the island and enjoy all the things it offers and enjoy nature. Get out and enjoy the water, be in the ocean. I actually had a sailboat for the last 2 years, a little West White Potter. It was only 15 feet, so it was hard to have much more than just myself in it. I had friends go with me a couple times, but it was pretty much a day adventure out Hilo Bay there. I got out past the breakwall a few times. Beautiful water out there on mellow days, but it had to be a good day because the swells get pretty big out there, and that little boat just didn't do well. So spent a lot of time just in Hilo Bay fishing, swimming, hanging out. I actually took the boat out and watched the fireworks last 4th of July. It was a lot of fun to be on the water floating and watching the fireworks. Beautiful. I think I put them in one of my videos. Hey Fred, how you doing? Just saw your message. I'm glad my videos have helped. Yeah, Fern Forest, little higher elevation. Anytime you get a little higher elevation, that's where the clouds mass together and it's always more rainy. The temperatures are pretty nice during the summer and great weather during the summer, but during the winter, it could rain a lot. Favorite swimming beaches around Puna area? You know, it's pretty rough down there in Puna to go swimming. We used to have the hot ponds before the lava took those away in 2018. We had the snorkel ponds down there. They're no longer there. I would always go down there and enjoy the snorkel ponds down there. It's too bad they're gone. There isn't a lot of places to swim anymore. Oh, I'm glad you liked that firework video, Mark. That was a fun one to make. Manifested, Anna. That's great. It's kind of what I did. I had an inkling and then I just followed that intuition and it'll happen. Freezing your tail off, huh, Fred? Snow. I love the snow. I grew up skiing all my life. Some of the best skiing there in Salt Lake. I'd go to Snowbird and Alta. I lived right at the mouth of the canyon. Back when I was a kid, mom would throw me $20 and that would be a day pass, a bus trip, and lunch. I was spoiled as a kid growing up with that in my backyard. Greatest snow on earth there in Utah. Wow, 53 inches in 36 hours. Are you talking rain or snow, Mark? I guess you're talking snow, given that you don't live here. We used to get a ton of snow in Salt Lake. I remember as a little kid, the snow would be as tall as the light on the front lawn. They used to have these lights that stood about 5 feet on a pole on the front lawn. And as a little kid, I remember the snow always being up to the top of that light. Oh, yeah, Kehena's down there to swim, but it can be treacherous too. There's boulders and rocks in there. You kind of have to ride the wave in, land on your feet, and walk out. If you're not a good swimmer, that's a tough one on a a big swell day. Kehena's cool, but it's never been my vibe to be around all the naked people and all the drugs and things that happen down there. I'm not putting it down, to each their own, but it just wasn't my vibe. So I didn't hang out at Kehena a lot. Kehena kind of attracts the from I lived just down the road from Kehena for 10 years and probably went there a dozen times. just because it wasn't my vibe. But every Sunday they have a big drum circle, which is pretty cool. It's a must see at least once, but that wasn't my thing. So, a bunch of people enjoying their drugs and jamming to the good beat and being naked. It was kind of a little different for me. I was never a naked person to wander around naked, too self conscious, I guess. Yeah, Gene, it's too bad the champagne ponds no longer exist. They're all under 30 feet of lava. I was there for the 2013 hurricane too. Had to clear the Kalani property for a month and a half. I didn't have a day off for a month and a half trying to get things back in order after that. 53 inches on the island. That's rain. Wow. I know it rains hard, so it's like buckets sometimes. Sometimes when it rains here, you can't imagine it raining any harder, and then it just pours more. And it's intense. It's amazing how much rain can fall from the sky. I've never seen it before in my life until I lived here. Yeah, it's a lot of rain in a day and a half. It's just been drizzling here all day. Keeps things green though. That's the beauty of the east side of the Big Island. It's just green from all the rain. I just put out last week's video. I do believe that was a helo video, and I had caught it on the most beautiful blue sky day and went around the park and no wind, so the water was just calm and caught those reflections. I was psyched to be out during that day with the blue skies and just the scenery was magnificent. You couldn't beat it. Wow, that's interesting. Tupahu, the land of the last Native American reservations. Lewiston, Idaho. Idaho's nice. Idaho Falls, Coeur d'Alene up there north. Boy, that's a beautiful place up there. Oh, that's nice. Tupahu. Found yourself and now returning. Yeah, it's interesting to go through life and just kind of take the journey. And, sometimes you do lose yourself. But if you keep moving forward, Imua usually comes back around because everything works in a cycle, goes in this big circle. I'm into stories. Wow. Going on an hour and 15. I need to go make some dinner. It's really been nice just going down memory lane, talking about different things with all of you. Appreciate you all and your support watching my videos. If you can, share it with your friends and family. I'd appreciate it. It all keeps me going, keeps me interested, keeps me active. Make a little bit of money along the way. It's not all about the money, though, I've learned. It's all about the people and relationships and how we treat one another. Definitely, Gene, the polarized glasses just makes everything more intense and beautiful. Going back to the big T, what's the big T, Mark? What's for dinner? Well, I'm going to make spaghetti squash with a little Alfredo sauce and a breast of chicken, cut it up and put it in the spaghetti squash and the Alfredo sauce with some green peppers and onion. See what else, a little garlic, make a salad, and I think that'll be dinner for me. I've thought about doing some cooking shows, but I don't know if all of you would be interested in that. But I like to cook. I like to make different things. I think I've mastered how to cook for a bachelor. Bachelor cooking. What would it be called? It would be called, any ideas? It would be called The Exquisite Bachelor Feast. Maybe something like that. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. All right, Gene, take care, brah. I'm going to be tapping out here in a second. Mahalo, Mark. I appreciate you hanging in there and being a moderator and helping out. You too, Tupahu. Aloha. All right, BM. I'll try to put a note out next time we do a live stream, and that way it can be anticipated. But I like doing things spur of the moment. So if you find me going, join in. Yeah, Fred, I did a farmer's market. I'll have to do that one again. Thanks for joining in, Fred. Yeah, I could do a bunch of the videos or veggies, I mean, that are locally grown and cooking them. That's a good idea. Appreciate you, Mark. Have a good night, Just Christine. Appreciate you. Take care, Fred. Aloha, everybody. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching my videos. And remember to share with your friends and family. Love you all and have a good night. Now you got to figure out how to stop it. End stream. It's right at the bottom. Good night, y'all.